You're standing in a forest that doesn't have a name yet. No city, no app, no profile picture, no algorithm deciding who you might like. Just you, a small band of people you've known your entire life. And the question that has haunted every human being who has ever existed: who do you choose? For roughly 300,000 years, your ancestors answered that question without a single one of the tools you take for granted. No dating profile, no mutual friend introduction over coffee, no wedding industry worth $70 billion. They found each other anyway. And the way they did it reveals something uncomfortable about who you actually are. Let's go back. Your ancestors lived in bands, small ones, anywhere from 15 to 50 people moving together across a landscape, following animals, following water, following seasons. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar spent decades studying human social group sizes and found that the number 150 keeps appearing across cultures. The rough upper limit of the social network a human brain can track meaningfully. But your immediate living group was much smaller than that. 20 people, maybe 30. You knew every face, every voice, every habit. That created a problem in a group that small. Your options were limited. Not everyone was available. Not everyone was unrelated to you. Humans have a powerful biological aversion to mating with close kin. Researchers call it the Westermarck effect, named after Finnish anthropologist Edvard Westermarck, who first described it in 1891. People raised together from early childhood develop a deep sexual disinterest in one another, even if they are not biologically related. Your ancestors felt this instinctively. The people you grew up beside were, in a very real sense, off the table. So, how did you find someone outside your group? You went looking. Or rather, the group did. Hunter-gatherer societies across the world practice something anthropologists call exogamy. The social rule that you must find a partner outside your own group. Researcher Kim Sterelny, in his work on the evolution of human cooperation, points out that this wasn't just a cultural preference. It was structural. It kept small bands connected to one another. A marriage between groups was a treaty. It was an alliance. Your partner wasn't just a person you wanted to spend your life with. They were a bridge between two bands who now had reason to share resources, share territory, share information. Love, in other words, was also logistics. But before any of that could happen, someone had to meet someone, and that required occasion. Think about the gatherings, several times a year, around a major kill, around a fruiting season, around a reliable water source. Bands would converge. Dozens of people who rarely saw each other would suddenly be sharing the same fire. These weren't casual meetups. Polly Wiesner, an anthropologist who spent decades studying the Yuhoansi San people of southern Africa, documented these interband gatherings in extraordinary detail. They involved feasting, storytelling, music, and dance that could last for days. They were the social engine of the hunter-gatherer world. And they were, unmistakably, where you sized up potential partners. So let's reconstruct the scene. Picture the moment. You're 17, maybe 19. The dry season is ending. Your band has walked 2 days to reach a place where another group camps near a river bend. You have heard about these people. You may have met one or two of them years ago, briefly, but now they are here. Real, fire lit, laughing at something you didn't quite catch. You are being watched. You're watching back. What did ancient humans actually look for? The evidence, assembled from both archaeology and cross-cultural anthropology, suggests a surprisingly consistent list. Physical health was visible and legible. Clear skin, strong movement, good teeth. Generosity was observable in real time. Did that person share their food? Did they help carry a load without being asked? Status mattered, but it looked different than it does today in a hunter-gatherer band. Status wasn't accumulated wealth. David Graeber and David Wengrow, in their landmark 2021 study of early human societies, describe how bands actively suppressed hoarding and domineering behavior. Status was earned through skill, through humor, through the ability to hold a group together under pressure. You couldn't fake it for long, not when everyone could see exactly who you were every single day. There was also music. This matters more than it might seem. Stephen Madden, a cognitive archaeologist at the University of Reading, has argued that musical ability and language evolved together in the human brain, and that rhythm, melody, and dance were some of the earliest signals of cognitive fitness that humans used to assess one another. When someone at that interband gathering picked up a rhythm, when someone moved well around the fire, it wasn't just entertainment, it was information. Your nervous system was reading it whether you wanted it to or not. Now here is the counterintuitive twist. Your ancestors had more agency in choosing a partner than many people who came after them. The arrival of agriculture, roughly 12,000 years ago, did not liberate human romantic life. It constrained it. Settled societies produced property. Property produced inheritance. Inheritance produced arranged marriage. The institution where families, not individuals, decided who joined with whom. Jack Goody, the British anthropologist who spent his career studying family structures across Eurasia and Africa, documented how the rise of land ownership fundamentally restructured human pair bonding around economics rather than desire. Your hunter-gatherer ancestors, by contrast, lived in a world where a bad match could simply dissolve. Divorce rates among contemporary foraging peoples are often high by modern Western standards. And researchers like Christopher Bone, in his book on hierarchy in the forest, describe societies where individuals, including women, retained real social power to leave relationships that weren't working. This is not a romanticized picture of ancient life. It was hard. It was dangerous. Partners died young. Bands broke apart. The wrong alliance could strand you. But within those constraints, the individual human being standing at that fire had more say over who they stood beside than many of their agricultural descendants would for thousands of years. And consider what that means for you. The tightening in your chest. When someone interesting walks into a room, the way you automatically scan a new face, reading it faster than any thought. The pull you feel towards someone who is generous, who makes others laugh, who moves with quiet confidence. None of that is new. None of it was invented by culture, or by apps, or by the modern world. That is the same algorithm your ancestors were running at the edge of a fire 80,000 years ago, while the night insects called and someone nearby was playing a rhythm on a stretched skin drum. You still know how to do this? You always have